What would a Trump presidency, another Trump presidency, mean for Scotland then?
Yeah. My father would be the greatest president, as it pertains to the relationship with Scotland that Scotland's ever had in the US.
Recently he was the victim of an assassination attempt. You have said that you were at home watching the television with the kids. How did you feel at that moment? I mean, most people can't even imagine that.
Horrible. I have my kids in my lap and I see blood pouring out of my father's ear. I wasn't,
Did you think the worst?
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, where else does the mind go? Of course you think the worst. And the margin for error, I mean, you get shot in the head. All right, it's, the chances that it goes through your ear is probably 1 in 1,000, right? And I certainly thought the worst. And it was a horrible moment, clearly one that I'll never forget.
And what did you make of his reaction to it? He was resolute, wasn't he?
He's incredible. Listen, he stands up, fight. And that's what he's had to do over the last 8 years. I mean, they've gone after him in every way, shape, or form. The whole world sees it, but they tried to impeach him. They've tried to imprison him. They've gone after our family. They've gone after each of us relentlessly. It's the ultimate, legal lawfare. It's the ultimate weaponization of politics.
What do you think would have happened if it had been the worst outcome, if he had been killed by that assassination attempt? What would it have meant politically for America and for the world?
Well, America would have looked like a banana republic if that would have happened. And God knows what else could have happened. Civil wars have been fought in countries for less than the assassination of political figures, especially political figures that are as beloved as he is.
So he's just questioned himself whether Kamala Harris is black. Did you know she was black?
No, I don't know a whole lot about Kamala Harris. I know she has an Indian mother.
You must know an awful lot about Kamala Harris. She's now standing against your father for the presidency.
Yeah, I know she has an Indian mother.
And a black father.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know anything about her father. I've seen.
You say possibly. You don't know that she's got a black. You didn't know that she was black.
I've seen her with her mother. I've never seen her with her father. Irrespective, here's what I'll tell you. These are all cheap sound bites. Kamala Harris has been the most ineffective vice president in the history of our country. She couldn't get 1% of the vote of the Democratic Party when she ran on her own in 2020.
To be fair, calling her the worst vice president sounds like more of a cheap soundbite than your father questioning her ethnicity and her railing back against that.
She's supposed to have stopped the problem at the southern border, and she didn't. She let in 12 million people into the United States in the last 3 years. She was supposed to be the border czar. 12 million people is double the population of Scotland. She was supposed to take on AI. She hasn't done anything with AI.
But that's nothing about what I'm asking you. I'm asking you about essentially whether your father is racist.
My father is far from racist.
Because that would suggest that what he said to that black journalist about Kamala Harris' ethnicity, that sounds racist.
No, he said that she's talked about her Indian heritage before. I think that's perfectly appropriate.
And she's talked about her black parentage as well.
Fair enough.
You have an incredibly famous father. Quite often kids get a bit embarrassed by their father. Do you ever get embarrassed by him?
I'm very proud of my father.
But do you ever get embarrassed by him?
I don't get embarrassed by my father.
Not when he talks about Kamala Harris's race, or even when you have to appear in court and testify for him?
No, I'm honored to appear in court to testify him because I know the sham.
Even in those circumstances?
Yeah, because I know the sham witch hunts he's been under for the last 8 years, and the entire world and all of America knows the sham witch hunts he's been under for the last 8 years. I'm not embarrassed at all. In fact, I'm my father's biggest ally. I'm my father's biggest advocate. And I think he's one of the greatest men in history, and I think he'll be revered as one of the greatest American presidents in the history of our country. And what they've put him through is unthinkable, including trying to kill him last week.
But has it changed him? Has it changed your campaign at all, do you think?
Yeah, I think when you almost die, I think it probably changes how you look at the world. And he came very close to dying. If the bullet was another couple centimeters, if it was another inch to the right-hand side, he wouldn't be here right now. And yes, I do think that changes the perspective of people.
Do you think when he debates Kamala Harris in the presidency, the presidential race, that the tone will be different from the last debate with Joe Biden?
Well, he got great marks on his civility in the last debate. So, do I think it'll be different from? I think my father got great marks on the last debate. So, will it be a tougher challenge for him? Do you think? Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
Well, Joe Biden was probably the worst debate performance we've ever seen in the history of the country.
Are you the next Trump to go into politics? Do you think, or could it be your wife who's chair of the Congress? Do you think it could be her?
Oh, theoretically, my wife's the head of the Republican Party, but
sorry, yeah. I mean, could it be her?
She's technically, I guess, already in politics, but I don't know. Listen, we're building the greatest courses on earth. We're doing the best hotels on earth.
So you're focused on the golf.
And
you're focused on the golf here in Scotland as well.
I'm certainly focused on golf in Scotland, but we're building the best hotels on planet Earth. We're doing the best commercial buildings, the best projects, and we have 8,000 employees around the globe. We love what we're doing. We have a great family, and we'll see. Listen, if I was ever called to do it, maybe I would. Do I think if I wanted to, I could? Absolutely. But right now, I love the world that we're in, and I hate the nastiness of a lot of the politics. It's including parts of this, right? It's we live in a beautiful world where we're all incredibly fortunate.